All right, so this is Note software that you can use with smartboards. This is a lesson that I would show to a incoming group of freshman offensive linemen that I would be coaching, which hopefully I'll be doing next semester at my high school where I'm going to be student teaching. So I made this lesson kind of as a football offensive line 101 because offensive line is what I play. So hopefully that's what I'll be coaching, and hopefully something like this would be useful for my students. So as you can see here, I have a picture overlaid on top of some text. You can see the text on top of the picture because I have the picture actually set behind the text. So this is just kind of an introduction slide. You can see Stanford's offensive line. At the time when this was made, Stanford's offensive line was one of the best in the nation, so that's why I chose to put them up there. But you can just see, you can move all this stuff around if you want. So moving on to the next slide here. As you can see here, you can set, in Note, you can set backgrounds to all of your slides. So right here I have a fist because this was kind of our philosophy that I wanted them to have. And the text up here is a quote from one of my old offensive line coaches here at Malone. It says, "Playing offensive line is like being part of a fist on your hand. Everyone works independently, but you all come to the same base." Here is just kind of a pretty base background. It's kind of loud, but it lets you, it gives you a bunch of room to actually be able to draw on it, so you can pick up any of these notes. And here we have a pretty base, like the base alignments. That's what this says, numbering the defensive alignments. But then if you wanted to, you could add backers, like linebackers, and show blitzes off the edge. You could have a mic here and a will, show them doing a cross or something like that to help illustrate to your guys exactly what could be going on. If you wanted to do the whole thing, you could take your eraser and erase all of this. And you could draw a totally new formation. So if you wanted to do it multiple times, you could just do it over and over again. And then you could draw your play however you wanted to show very quickly and very easily. And you wouldn't have to necessarily have a whiteboard. You could just do it all on your smartboard. Another interesting thing was Note is you can use these pull tabs. And these pull tabs can actually pull out additional things that you want to hide from the screen originally, so there's not an overwhelming amount of text on the thing, or if you have pictures hidden behind there that you want to show them, to kind of use it as a surprise or a novelty factor. So here I have head-up techniques are even numbers, and over here you can pull this one out. You can actually change the way the text is, so if you want it to look interesting, I mean this is kind of hard to read when it's sideways like this, but you can do it different ways to kind of mix it up and make it look interesting. And then you can always just put them back and hide them away again. So right here you can actually take screenshots of actual pictures. So here I took a picture of one of Malone's games, and what you can do is you can take a screenshot of this, and then you can actually write on top of the screenshots. So like here you see I have the different alignments written in, but you can also draw like what these guys potentially could do. So these guys could drop back in coverage, this guy could blitz, this guy could blitz here, different things. You can ask them questions like I have up here. Can you label the techniques? So you'd have them go through. You could have your students come up and individually, and you could say, what is this technique? And they would have to write a 2I, or they would have to write a 6 or a 5. So it's interactive. You can actually have your students come up and talk to them here. Additionally, you can actually record voices over top of this kind of stuff, and you can, if you wanted to send this home with them or something, they could listen to the audio recordings later, and that would allow them to do it that way. Again, here you can see you can put any background you want up there, so I put a Malone University emblem up there. These kind of boxes, you can click on the boxes and they can disappear, revealing text behind it. This text here is hard to see because the background is so loud, but it says a blitz or some other type of game with the D lineman, which is just like a helpful reminder or whatever. And then you can pull out other things like that so they can see it later. In this slide, you can actually see, you can change, in certain versions of Note, you can actually use this kind of, these special marker colors or whatever to really highlight. So right here, I would have asked the students what warning sign should be going off in your head at this time, and I highlighted this guy because he's a blitzing linebacker, so it should be going off in their head when they see somebody up on the line like that. It should be a really bright red warning sign. This guy's probably going to blitz. So I wanted to highlight that by using a different color rather than just the simple blues or reds or blacks. In addition, you can actually set hyperlinks right into the Note software, and then you can just simply click on them. You can click on these links. The little hyperlink thing right here. You can click on the hyperlinks and it'll take you right into, so this would be a place where they could go and watch film. They could log in here, and then you can X right out of that. Or you could take them to a YouTube video, something like that. So this would be something. So you can put, yeah, I know, you can put videos right into the Note presentation, and you can use it from there. On the next slide, you see this is another a blank slate, so to speak. You could have them come up. I already drew this stuff in, but you would have your students come up and kind of draw on the board what their specific assignment was. So in the previous slide, I showed them like what alignments were. So in this one, they would come up and they'd have to tell me what they were doing on this play, like what their specific assignment was for this play. So this guy would have to go here, he'd go up to there. This guy would go out and up, there and there. And you would be able to have them interact with you as you're teaching them. So it's a little more useful than just sitting there drilling them, especially in something like football or another sport where it's so interactive and you really need to do it over and over and over again to really get into the mindset of this stuff. So here again, here's just some quotes that you have. You can just, if you want just a plain black background like this, you can just put a plain white background. The thing that you can really highlight here is you can see you have different text sizes, you have different text fonts, you have different text colors. Down here you can see the italics or the cursive writing. Up here you have the bold. One of the really interesting things you can do with Note though is you can actually make a quiz. So right here you have a fading picture which reveals text underneath. And then, so I have a little quiz built into this. So you would ask, what letter do we label Insight Techniques with?
A.
So your student yells out A. So you can go over here, you can click it or you can have them click it, and then it'll take you to a different page that you have linked to it, and boom, this one, they got it right. So they answered right. And on each one you can have a little hyperlink. And here I have a little video of Steve Smith doing a little touchdown shimmy. And then you can just, boom, next question. All this stuff is built right into the Note thing. So right here we have which image shows a standard four-man front, and the audience would yell out
A.
A. So they yell out A. Oh, and they got this one wrong. But it's nice because this software allows you to put a link to go right back into the same question they just got wrong. So this time the audience yells out
B.
So they yell out B, you go over here and you click B, they got it right. And I just have the same hyperlink image for each one of these correct ones. But you can click on a hyperlink image each time that they get one right. So then you can go to the next question. And this one, they'd have to identify the most dangerous threat or what they should be concerned of in this play. And the audience would yell out
A.
A. So you'd go over, or you'd have somebody come up and they'd click A, and then boom, it's right. And you could do that for however many questions you want, how many different quizzes you want, or whatever. And you can build it right into that, so it's super interactive. The kids can come up, they can touch the board, and then they can go back to their seat. It allows them to get up, it allows them to be involved, it allows them to come touch the technology, and that's really good. So that's Note in a nutshell. There's a ton of other things you can do with it, but that's some basic stuff that I did with this one for a pretty standard introductory offensive line lesson. Thanks.